So it's 25th of January, 12:30. Last session of the day done. Great double session this morning in Trim Celtic at Tully Park with the club nursery programme. It's been running now for nearly 3 and a bit years now, and great group of kids in there. Kind of age range would be 2013 to 2015. So really good group. We had our older session in the first one, which will be the group that becomes a team next month. They'll join the next crop of players into the Trim Celtic, and then we had the youngest group, which will be all kind of 4 and some 5-year-olds in that one. So that finished off today with a players versus daddies game for the last few minutes, which the players won 10-1, putting the daddies to shame. So it was excellent, dry, but a little bit chilly, but it was dry. Great to have the kids outdoor for the session. So we it's got to wrap up now for today. Early finish, unlike normal. So not there's other office stuff to do, but it can wait now until probably Monday. I say that now, but I'll probably may jump on later. Session tomorrow, 1-to-1 session tomorrow, and then we'll just prep the rest of the week. Quite a bit on, so with travel this week. So all good. Upload video later on today. We kind of look back at sessions for younger players. Some coaches are suited to coaching younger age groups. Some kind of before they hit double digits, 8s, 9s. Then others are great for the double digit ages. And then it takes another type of coach then to be able to coach kind of 14, 15, 16 as the maturity level kind of changes and everything else. So as a coach, I kind of pride myself on the fact that I can flick a switch and go between the younger age groups, 3, 4, 5, and an hour later coach a session for teenagers, and then later on coach a session for 19s or seniors. Absolutely no problem. That experience takes time to come. It's based over 20 years of experience now. I started at 15, and 20 years of coaching allows you to learn how you need to adjust that. So any young coaches starting out, I would say get in at that younger age, because some of the top coaches around actually struggle with the younger age groups. The tip for the youngest age group that I can give is you need to be obviously completely in control of the session, but you've got to be nuts. You've got to be crazy and bounce off the kids. If the kids are enjoying your session and they're laughing, they're having fun, that's the most important thing. You've got to be willing to make sure you celebrate every goal, every high five is given, the excitement is there. Really important. Nothing worse than a flat session, not celebrate the goals, not give the high fives, not make that little bit of extra effort. Like today in that last session, we had a parents versus players game. They're 4 or 5 years of age, the kids, just to kind of wrap up the end of the session. The players won 10-1 against the parents, but I was acutely aware that most of the kids had scored, and I asked, has anybody not scored? The score was 9-1, and there was one player that hadn't scored at that point in time. He gets the last goal of the game, and the game is won 10-1 and wraps up. But every player left the pitch scoring. Every player left the pitch knowing what that felt like, getting the high five and the excitement of that celebration for the goal. I think that is really important. If we weren't acutely aware of that within the session, what would happen is that player would leave. Their dad or somebody, a parent or a guardian would say, did you score today? How'd you get on? I didn't score today, everybody else scored. And that's the memory. So it's very, very important if you're coaching at young age that you facilitate every player. We had a kid in the session beforehand, young 4-year-old boy, only starting out, and he would run and chase and look for the ball, and other faster, skillful players just didn't necessarily pass. At the end of his game, the last little blitz game for them, a penalty was given and somebody else wanted to take it. I said, no. This player's taking it, and he steps up, misses. I said, oh no, didn't blow the whistle. So we put it back down. He steps up and he scores, and that again makes the difference to that player's experience. And it's very important as a coach to always be aware of every player that's in the session. Give them the time, give them the help, give them the encouragement, but make sure it's inclusive for everybody. So that's just a tip for coaching, to make sure that you are fully inclusive and nuts. Gotta be able to bounce off the kids in the session and let them see that it's fun, you're fun, and they will enjoy it, and they will forever come into a session, give you that high five when they come in, tell you their story. You always be willing to listen to the story of the week, whatever's happened in their little world that week. Give them the time to listen, give them your 30 seconds, give them that little moment, and interact. And that is what makes the difference between someone that can facilitate a session and somebody that will coach and lead a group and enjoy and have fun with the kids. Just doing a little thought on 20 years of coaching, thinking back, and we talked about the 10,000 hour theory, to master, to be highly skilled at something. So thinking back over 20 years, some days there would be 6, 7, 8 hours of sessions, and then others just one hour a day. We're working on the basis of 300 days of coaching a year, which wouldn't be unusual, and 2 hours a day only is 600 hours of coaching a year. Based over 20 years, it's 12,000 hours of coaching. Now, I would say, based the actual reality over the year would be more like 3 hours a day, 300 days a year of football, so it's 900. So it's more like, I think, in 20 years of coaching, I've done about 18,000 hours of sessions. That's a lot of sessions. That's probably a lot of goals. A lot of high fives in that period of time. A lot of smiles, a lot of tackles. But 18,000 hours, which I reckon be fairly close to that, if not over it, is a lot of time to spend mastering, becoming very proficient at something. Now, I have a thing that I would say to have an able attitude. And an able attitude is to always be learning every day. So, continually learning as a coach, developing as a coach, is critically important. You will always pick up something from somewhere. So 18,000 hours of coaching, but always learning. Today, every other day will learn something new from somebody. And that's really important. Never stop learning as a coach. So it's a little quick visit to a house around the corner from where I live. A couple of weeks ago, a young player, Jody Campion, was assaulted with a couple of guys in down Liffey Valley Shopping Centre, and when I found out what happened, I contacted a great footballer and family, Stephen Henderson, and I asked Stephen, is there any chance you could ask young Stephen, his son, who is the goalkeeper of Crystal Palace, I said, any chance you can get a set of gloves just signed for Jody so we can give to him? Jody was with Drogheda 13s last year, League 1 13s, a partner club, VI Sports. Lives locally to me in Enfield, partner club there. Used to play for Enfield Celtic, and this season with under 14s he's now playing for another partner club down in Trim Celtic. And I asked Stephen if he could speak to Stephen, organise something for me, and he did. So in my hand is a Crystal Palace jersey signed by the whole squad, and Stephen's gloves. So I just want to thank Stephen Senior and Stephen Junior for making this happen. Football is a small world. There are great people in the game, and I am very appreciative of the fact that I know many, and that this was able to happen. So thanks very much. I'm going to drop them off to Paul, Jody's dad. Now I just got to go out to the house and drop them off to him and give them to him.